So this is just an addendum to the last video that allows you to graph what we just had as a parametric function so that you can actually see the movement. This is kind of what we drew in the number line, but now we're going to show how to do it on the calculator. So it did want us to graph on the line y equals 2, so I had to go to my mode, and you can see I had to come down, and instead of function, I had to switch this to parametric. My first equation is going to be the same as what the position function was. I just changed the x's to t's. So this is now t squared minus 4t plus 3. And then my y function is simply going to be 2. This is just kind of nice because it elevates your function so that it's not drawing right on the x-axis. You're actually going to be moved up some. So 2 is just arbitrary. You could do 3 or 4. Just something so that it is raised up some and you can see what's going on here. I do need to make sure that I put in a couple of other parameters to make sure that this goes the way that I want it to. So you can see here, see how I have this little line with this dot attached to it? I come over here, you would click enter to change that. So we do want this, we don't want it just drawing the line because we want to have that circle going that's kind of leaving a tail after it so we can actually see the movement. You could just use the regular circle, but if you do that, you're not going to get a line drawn behind you, so you're not going to be able to see where your graph is going. The other thing we need to check on is the windows. So I'm going to hit the window key up here, because if you recall from the question, it said t was greater than or equal to 0, so I want to make sure that my t min is set to 0. My t max, I just want to be something bigger. Don't make it too big or your graph will be running a long time before it runs out. I went ahead and did 10, and actually this is almost too long because the values would get very huge if your t is equal to 10. Your t step, I went ahead and set this to be 0.01. I think I had it set to 0.05 before, but by making it a smaller number, it actually slows down the drawing process. And you'll see, I'll go back and compare the 0.01 to the 0.05, and you guys can see the difference between those. So when I hit graph now, it's going to automatically start drawing. You can see my dot starts at 3, goes to the left until it reaches -1, and then it turns back and it goes to the right and it keeps going. So this is the same thing that we drew in the number line. You can actually see that movement there. And you can see by my little spinner up in the corner, because I am going the whole way until t equals 10, it's going to keep going and going and going and going until eventually it runs out of values. And with it moving very slow there, that's probably going to take a bit to happen. If you ever need to stop a graph before it gets to where it stops working, like I just did there, you can always press the on key. The on is the graph break key, so it'll stop your graph instantly where it is. So now if I go back to window and change this to 0.05, you can see if we do the graph, it is going to go a lot faster than what it did before. So that's one of the reasons why I slowed it down to 0.01. So again, this was just an extra little video to help you figure out how exactly how to graph using the parametric. It is a little difficult to see because once the graph runs back over itself, it all just looks like a single line, but you can go back and change one little thing and then come back here and you can see the movement for that. So I hope that was helpful. Make sure you watch the other videos and let me know if you have any questions.